Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Welcome to the Fly With Us podcast. This podcast is bringing the art of conversation, self-love, self-care, mental health care and protection, life lessons, love lessons, and everything in between. Today, we're going to talk about eating to live. I'm Lady Bounce.
And I am A-Slate.
All right. So you can tell. You can tell by my everyday fits I ain't rich. No, okay. Sorry. I was some digital underground on
Lady Bounce.
Right. Some of that. But you can tell I like to eat. I packs it in.
That's
nicely.
All right. That's all right.
So
what are you packing in though? We know you eat pretty good. You don't eat bad.
I do, but I eat enough bad stuff.
Is it a balance?
It's a balance until I get a craving. Okay. And once I get a craving, then it's a wrap. But now, as long as I, like a piece of candy here and there, it like stays off the craving. Okay. But if I deprive myself and I don't have any for like, say, like a month or something, and then I get some and I'm like this,
so crazy.
Like I'm gonna just eat it all.
Like I did with that ice cream earlier today. I inhaled it.
So tell me about your ice cream.
I had to talk about that ice cream. So I haven't been able to eat any ice cream because I need to eat to live right now.
Okay.
So I haven't been able to eat because of cravings. I'm pregnant. So that was that. But I got the ice cream today, right?
Okay. What flavor was it?
It's just regular vanilla ice cream with this chocolate swirl and it had cookies in it.
Okay. Who makes it?
It was just Wendy's. And no, I did not spend no money on fast food. It was a treat. Shout out to my best friend. Thanks for that. Yeah.
Shout out to the best friend.
So I ate that stuff. It was so good. I don't think that's real ice cream because I have an issue with lactose.
No, it's the Frosty is not ice cream.
Yeah, it's like some kind of yogurt.
Yeah, it's a yogurt creamy,
delicious, yummy treat that could possibly very well be healthy. See? So that was that. I ate that. Yeah. But
I had a Frosty last week. It was quite scrumptious. Frosty and fries.
What, did you dip your fries in it?
I did.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it does not sound like we eat like we eat healthy. But on the healthy side, I do like, shout out to your husband. Thanks, Pickett. I love Beyond Meat burgers.
Yes.
I prefer them over
a
regular
real burger.
Beef burger. Any kind of burger. I prefer a Beyond Meat burger, which I did have one the other night. Yes, I did. And
you made it?
Yes, at home.
All right.
And on my Foreman grill at that. And I put my, so in case it's got any plant juice fat.
Plant juice fat.
It runs out. Yeah, and I put my spinach on it and my onions and tomatoes and
cheese.
Rice. Okay, yeah, I did use cheese.
I know I was going to say your burger ain't a burger without cheese. Like,
I did use cheese and it was so good. And the thing about that, I'm not vegan. I'm not vegan at all, but I did go on a, no meat, no dairy fast for like 90 days.
How was it?
I actually felt alive. I felt better. At first I was a little lethargic because maybe I was missing some things, but then I had to start adding certain things to the diet. Like I was adding like black beans and I started adding, different kind of nuts and more spinach and other stuff. And I was trying to find different ways to get whatever it was that I was missing.
Okay.
So once I did that, I felt better. I had more energy. I thought better. If that makes sense.
It does.
I felt like I could process stuff fast and quick and I wasn't out like, like everything was firing off in the right place. But for me, I lost a ton of weight really fast.
Okay.
And that wasn't what I wanted. So considering it was a fast, once that fast was complete, I was like, yeah, I'm going back to meat. But I do miss the other benefits of it.
I think I don't eat beef and pork, but I've said for years, the only two things I miss are authentic chili dogs from like Skyline or Gold Star, Remises. Authentic chili dogs, because I make turkey chili dogs, but it's not the same. It tastes good, but it's not the same. And gummy candy, gummy worms, gummy bears, the Haribo, Mega Mix, like that was my stuff. And being a semi junk food junkie, You know, you get that one bag at a Haribo and it's got all the products they make in one bag. So it had the Coca-Cola bottles in it, the cherries, the double snakes.
I've never even heard of it. I'm not a gummy candy fan, but
yeah,
wow.
It's called the Haribo Star Mix.
The joy on your face, right?
I know, right? So it's not eating pork and pork byproducts. Gelatin, if you didn't know, is a byproduct of pork.
Isn't that in like our
everything?
Toothpaste? Is toothpaste got some kind of form of?
It's got fluoride, but it depends. Some toothpaste does have gelatin because it helps it congeal and stick together. So you have to really watch your labels. But like Pop-Tarts used to use real fruit, and real fruit got expensive, so now they use gelatin instead.
Now I did see there was some kind of fruit cup. One particular fruit cup that does not use gelatin to hold their fruit together. I cannot remember. And it's a popular brand. I want to say it was Dole, but
yeah, Dole has some that they have fruit cups that are in juice, in syrup, or the ones in Jell-O. So
and
they definitely have, the variety. But I do prefer like the fruit cups in juice because they're not as sweet as the syrup. Yeah, and then I can actually drink the juice when I'm done with the fruit as opposed to the syrup, and I just look at it and go, ew, I just ate what was in there. Like, as you wash it all thick, sloshing around in the cup, you're like, I just ate what was in there, So it's like the health benefit of the fruit is kind of diminished by the fact that it's in the sugary syrup. Yeah. If that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. And the face is going with the disgust. Let's go back to the joyous.
Yeah, because I was just thinking about it like how gross it truly is. But yeah, so when we go to get like treats and stuff, we watch food labels because we don't eat beef, we don't eat pork.
Now see, for me, that drove me insane. Constantly reading and trying to make sure you're doing the right thing. Right. It was tedious to do.
It is tedious.
And then on top of everything else, it was extremely expensive. Like extremely, maybe I'm exaggerating, but for me, it was expensive. I have to feed my kids. They do not want to be vegan, and I have to respect that. And they still want to, they eat worse at this point. Now that they're teenagers, they enjoy processed foods.
Right.
That's where they are in their life.
Freezer, microwave, plate.
That's what they like. So that's what they eat. And then I want to eat clean foods and fresh foods. And then to buy that and then buy that, it's like.
And it's really hard too when you're buying both. Because the one thing about the vegetarian and the vegan lifestyle is you really have to prepare your food.
Yes.
So for me, sometimes I might get busy and bogged down at work. Yeah. And I don't get to eat lunch. So when I come home and I have the chance to actually eat, am I going to go for the chicken nuggets to take 30 seconds in the microwave, or I'm going to make this whole salad where I have to cut everything up?
Yeah, you have to prepare. And then the thing about it, since everything is fresh, you have to eat it quickly.
Yes, you do.
You can't make the salad for the week. You really can't. You can say you can. Maybe it'll hold. Maybe it won't by day 3, day 4. You're getting a little moisture in there, and it's not. Yes. It's not good. So these are the things that we have to consider when eating vegan. But when you think about how good you feel, you think about maybe it's worth it. Now, what happened? What happened over the weekend?
So over the weekend, we went to the Dayton Vegan Festival. Yeah. Now, I am not a vegan. However, I play one on TV. No. But I do partake in some vegan foods. And so I did, when I went to my friend's booth, which is Sprouting Dreams. And she was actually one of the people who helped put together the Dayton Vegan Festival. Nice. So I had a macaroni and cheese bowl. Oh my God. I didn't try it. It was so picture on Facebook. Good. It was so good. I couldn't eat all of it because since it's nutrition rich food, it's denser. Yeah. So when you eat it, you get fuller faster.
And the flavor, when you get full of a flavor too.
Oh yeah.
So people kind of miss that part.
There was macaroni and cheese, there was greens, and then there was barbecue jackfruit on top that tasted
also, that's
just like
jackfruit ribs.
Oh, yeah, it tasted just like me.
Yeah.
Like if I didn't know better, I swear I was.
Yeah, one of our friends on Facebook, I don't know if you've seen it, Marquisha had posted that she went to like a food, like a mobile food truck or something, and they gave her jackfruit. Those things are huge.
They are.
It's really huge. I'm like, okay, I'm interested in what she's going to do with this. Like,
right, because tell her she needs some help eating it.
Yeah, but I hear if you cook it right, for those who like pork, you can kind of get a like pulled pork kind of feel from it. If you cut it in half long ways, you basically scraping it out. Not like you do for spaghetti squash.
Right, and it comes out of the jackfruit already shredded like that. Nice. Especially if you use a fork to like scoop it out. it comes already like shredded, and all you need to do then is soak it in your favorite sauces.
And that's another thing you learn when you're being vegan. There is such a huge variety of foods that we have not discovered yet. Most of us normal.
Right. Like the produce section is your best friend when you decide to go vegan. Yeah. And then if you don't know, ask. Ask the people in the store. Typically, they only hire people for departments that know about the merchandise, so that the people who are working produce know about the produce. They're not just there working. Like they can actually answer your questions of, well, what goes, what vegetable will go with this, or what meat goes with this vegetable if you choose to do it, that way. And in some stores like Whole Foods, of course, they have cooking demonstrations in the store,
cards and things like that.
Yes, and then they have in the middle of the store like a whole island where you can get fresh food that's already cooked, and you just make you a plate.
In the food desert in the hood, which makes it hard for us too. We have to actually get out and move around until Gym City Market gets here.
Until they get here, but if Gym City Market and Whole Foods, if it was like a combo, that would be dope.
Let's come on, collaboration.
Come on, collaboration. Come with it. Because the idea is there. The money is there. You know what I mean? The land and the space is there to have a collaboration like that in different parts of the city. And of course you will make money because there aren't any other stores.
And we can see a really strong push and move to healthier eating, and more conscious thinking and moving people. So I think it would be great.
I think it would be. Because like the Gym City Market is great for the area where it's going to be, and it's going to serve a lot of people there. However, we have at least 3 other prominent spots in our city that are food deserts. So I'm hoping that, the Gym City Market lives up to its full potential, and it, in a year or 2, it is able to expand into those other places. Cause,
she said in a year or 2. I love it. Okay.
Trotwood lost Food Town. I just found out
last week. Crazy.
Yes.
First they took Cubs.
Right.
Now they take Food Town.
Right.
What is the option now? Walmart,
if you can get there.
Way to Hope Road.
If you can get there. Yeah, Walmart. Yeah. And I just found out last week that the Walgreens on Gettysburg and Hoover is closing.
Thank God.
But they have food in there.
But thank God. They have horrible customer service.
I mean, they do. But they do have food, like eggs and cheese and milk and,
but most people are not really shopping at
that is true.
They're going to save a lot, and they're going to Estridge. They're going
right.
And IGA and the Bollies. So they have those.
And the Bollies with the 15-cent hot
because
dogs.
if you're buying food out of Walgreens, you are being overcharged most likely. And everything
and it's
in there
probably
is
not
processed.
Good for you anyway.
Yeah. So,
but I'm just saying, in a pinch, your kid is starving.
They're probably walking over there.
I'd rather get them macaroni and cheese than let them starve.
Well, they'll just go get a 2 for $2 at McDonald's.
Yeah,
it's right across the street. Isn't that what it go? Okay, well, something like that.
I don't know, but I'm just saying, we have we have space.
Yeah.
So there's really no reason why we have any pockets in our city that are food deserts. Period.
Well, speaking of space and pockets, and since we are talking about eating to live, okay, one of these myths or misconceptions I had was that if you are vegan, you are bony, you are skinny.
Oh no, ma'am!
You lose too much weight.
No, look at elephants, giraffes, manatees, gorillas.
Name me some humans do not do that.
But I'm saying if you look at their sizes, those animals are all vegetarians. They only eat plant-based. Rhinoceros.
But then if I only eat plant-based, say for example, my favorite for a minute was rice. So if you heavy on carb, then sure, some weight is going to add a few pockets here and there on you. So I suppose. But when we're thinking eat to live, we got to think portion control. We have to think balance on the plate. We have to
color balance as well as protein versus carb balance.
So we have to consider all those things when we're eating to live. Yes. And balance our budget so we won't be complaining about, no, this is too expensive. Well, work it into the budget.
It is. But when I think about the expense that comes with it, if you weigh out the cost of not eating right
because of your healthcare expenses,
yeah. If you weigh that out, which is more, which is better, which expense would you rather have? Would you rather spend this money to eat right or spend this money for prescriptions and doctor visits and amputations or, that's the extreme, but.
Yeah, that exactly. So it is worth it. And then too, going back to the Day in Vegan Fest that we attended, the beautiful, what word am I going to use?
Beautiful.
Just beautiful. I mean, because it diverse.
Yes.
It was such a diverse crowd. And I also learned that yoga is vegan for everybody who didn't know. Yoga is vegan.
Yes.
And there's a yoga studio in downtown Dayton, Yoga XTC, where you can go and breathe and infuse love into every move. Infuse love. I love. But it was some beautiful people. There was some great energy.
It
maybe
definitely was great energy. And then this one lady, I don't know if stop me if you heard of her, but this one lady named A. Slade did like this dope spoken word poem advertisement commercial for every booth that was there selling food, making food, exhibiting, contributing in any way, even down to the jewelry maker lady.
Shout out Dayton Vegan Food Fest for proper marketing and great
so like she did this poem and then she was asking for cookies and then I was like, dang, I forgot to get the box of cookies. And as as she said it like 3 times, talking about it, please get a box for me. I was like, dang,
don't forget to get a box.
Somebody get this girl some cookies. And I forgot to get you some cookies, but then I thought about it, like, I didn't get myself any cookies either. Right. I was so full from the food that I ate that I actually forgot about the cookies and was like, cause we walked around at first and,
but your excitement was this bubbly tea. And shout out to Sunday Funk Day. I didn't get to hear them in time, but maybe they should have played again after everybody ate so we can dance some of that food.
They should have played the whole time. I'm telling you, when, cause they got to playing that, some of them songs that you haven't heard since they were hits.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I forgot about that song. Like, oh yeah. And the crowd was really digging it. So I was like, when they got finished, I was like, y'all could have just played all day. Like, what is going on?
Nice DJ, who was there from, was it Pause for Love, I think it was called, that he was with. They go out and volunteer and rescue dogs and do something for pets, and they also
Pause for Ability. No,
that sounds about right. It sounds about right.
They do service dogs for people with handicaps and stuff.
Sounds about right.
Okay.
But either way, they were sponsors and volunteers. So nice job. Yeah, thanks for the DJ there.
It was definitely nice.
And he let me use his very expensive what's this setup called? Pickett would know what that setup is called. This
his
DJ
mixer and his sound.
Your DJ. Yeah, that thing. Yeah. He let me use that as a stand. So I appreciate him for that.
It worked out. And then Molly, of course, gave us some really, really dope knowledge that was very concise. It was plain English as opposed to, these really big words and these big ingredient lists that people are like, what are you talking about? So, shout out to Molly Blackshear for the educational talk. Yeah, because I was like,
on Facebook.
Right. I mean, and I knew some of the stuff she was saying, I know because I live with a vegan, with a vegetarian going vegan. So some of it I knew, and then some of it I was like, for real? Yeah. I did not know that.
And the video.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes.
Let's touch on that really quick.
So there was a booth where they were paying you $1 to watch a 4-minute video. It was a 4-minute documentary about a guy who was a staunch meat eater, and then somebody told him one day, like, you should really find out about how the animals are treated that you eat every day. And so he even says in the video, he was like, I was the meat guy, and that was the furthest thing I could have thought about until I embarked on this journey. So he went through, he went to like a cow farm where they talk about how they keep the cows pregnant constantly so that they lactate, because the only way a cow can make milk is if it's pregnant.
And the way Molly described that
as cow rape.
That in itself sounds like something.
Because they artificially inseminate the cow.
Yeah.
Which it's when they showed it in the video. It looks very rough and very inhumane.
And the male chickens.
And then the male chickens, they have no value, so they put them in a machine that grinds them up as soon as they're born. So you see them.
Cool.
Yeah, so like in the video, he showed them going, because what he did was he went undercover at food processing plants, and that's how he was able to get his footage. So of course, chickens, they cut their beaks off and they live in close quarters and swim and live in their own filth, and that's what makes them so bad. And then they keep them pregnant too, so that they keep producing eggs, and then they produce, like, there's a separate set of chickens that only produces baby chicks, and then this half over here only produces eggs.
In that sense, when we're considering eating to live, when we're eating to live, we're also saving some animal's life.
Yes.
My God, because I can just remember a story my mom telling me about when she was younger and coming up, and my grandmother had a hard time, feeding them. So, of course, she had a garden and she had a little farm, and she had chickens. And she had ducks, and my mom thought that those were their pets until one day she saw my grandmother wringing the chicken's neck.
Oh, yes.
And like, we're gonna eat this.
Yeah. And that can be traumatic. I saw my great grandmother do that, where she snapped the chicken's neck and then put him down on the ground and let him run around her yard until he fell out. And then I saw my great grandmother's husband lay a chicken out on like the tree stump, chopped his head off, and we watched it run around, and I was like, oh my God.
Depending on what culture you're from, I've seen them, I've not witnessed it, but I know that it happens. I've seen a lamb, a little baby, in the cage and know what's about to happen. And I've eaten my fair share of gyros, eros, whatever you want to call them, and it makes you think. It makes you think.
And then when it got to like the part of the video with the pigs, of course, since I don't eat pig, I was already like, I don't need to see this part because I already know, but it showed how they cut their tails off and how they, slice their throats and hang them upside down. And then they showed like part of the video where these pigs had gone crazy from inbreeding. Like they literally in their heads were crazy, and they were running around and hitting their head on the wall and on the cage and stuff, trying to get out. Yeah. But mentally, like their brains were messed up. And so of course they weren't good for eating, because a bad brain gives you bad body or whatever. So these ones that went crazy, they basically just killed them.
Speaking of bad brain giving you bad body, let's eat better.
Yes.
We want to eat to live. We want to feed ourselves.
And that's not to say that
feasting off of us.
Right. But, and it's also, I want to put the disclaimer out. I'm not saying, or we're not saying, don't eat meat ever.
Hey, eat what you like.
Don't go on some crazy vegan because we said so.
Right.
But
because I still eat meat.
I still eat chicken, turkey, and fish. I cannot give up cheese. I love cheese. And I don't drink a lot of milk.
I'm eating just ice cream.
Because I don't, I like milk, but I just, like, I used to eat cereal every Saturday morning because that was like my treat to myself, but I don't have time for milk. So I do use milk. Like, I use milk to cook with because like soy milk and almond milk doesn't perform in recipes the way real milk does.
This is true, especially when you're making macaroni and cheese.
Right. So when I'm making macaroni and cheese, of course, it's my favorite.
You do not want
chicken and macaroni and cheese. Yeah, I have to use regular milk.
So we have to consider these things. But yes, do eat what you love.
Yeah, and make small changes. If that means, you're going to get the 50-cent bag of chips as opposed to the $2 bag of chips, that's a small change. Or getting the single-size candy bar instead of the king-size candy bar,
I got the king-size in my car, girl. You better mind your business. It was a gift. It was a gift. I didn't want to be rude.
You didn't want to be rude. I'm going to take this.
I said, well, thank you.
Right. You don't have to eat all 4 Reese cups at one time.
Our Lady Bounce is touching on everything that we have for our self-care assignment, so I know we are in alignment. Our self-care assignment for this week is do try to eat organic. Eating food without pesticides, hormones, and fertilizers is better for your body and for the earth. Organic food has become increasingly popular in the past 10 to 20 years, and as people are becoming more conscious of what they feed themselves, They also are conscious, of course, of what they feed their families. Visit a grocery store that sells organic products like Whole Foods or Trader Joe's and do your weekly grocery shopping there, or at Gem City Market when it comes. In the meantime, do get your Gem City Market membership at gemcitymarket.com. Organic food tends to cost a few dollars more, but it is worth it. Mm-hmm. You know what you're putting into your body, and you don't have to worry about anything unnatural. Maybe it'll help you get a good night's sleep, because I know it definitely did work for me. So I'm thinking about picking some of those vegan habits back up, which I am not eating pork. I am working on my red meat and still loving, I'm going to keep telling y'all about it, my Beyond Meat burgers and my Beyond Meat sausages. I haven't got the Beyond Meat ground up.
But now, disclaimer, if anybody is looking for the perfect gift, A Slate has not had the Impossible Whopper yet.
I haven't, and I cannot spend money on fast food right now, so I encourage you to spend yours on it. No, I'm kidding. But if you just so happen to be going that way, and you have a couple of extra dollars, and you feel like being sweet that day, A Slate would not mind having an Impossible Whopper, because I have not had one, and I will return the favor in some kind of way. We can do a little bartering thing there. See what we can do. All right. Shout out, Lady Bounce. Who needs that Impossible Whopper? Let's make it possible. Let's make it happen.
We're going to make it happen.
And our mindfulness minute. Me is be grateful. Look, I'm going to be grateful for all this. Our mindfulness minute, as Lady Bounce was talking about, let's consider care versus deprivation. Let's think this. I give my body the things that it needs to be well. I do not treat it harshly, but gently guide it into better patterns. When most people begin to lead a healthier lifestyle, often the first thing they do is stop eating all the foods that they really like. The mind, of course, immediately rebels and starts conjuring thoughts of the forbidden foods. The diet may last days or even weeks, but eventually the old ways come back again. Only through a whole life approach involving meditation and mindfulness, holistic alternative medicines and Western medicine, exercise, and things like that can the change become permanent. The mind of a fully grown human being is in certain ways not unlike the mind of a child. It is loss averse and does not want to have its candy taken away. Today, speak nicely to the mind and body, saying, don't worry, I will take care of you. I will not do anything that is going to harm you, like shock you and take all of your delicious burgers away and chocolates. I will make these changes gradually, and you will have plenty of time to adjust. And I promise you that you will feel much better when I am done. So do take care versus deprivation. And our next thing, we all wait for this every single week, is our brain science.
All right. So today's brain science comes from nutritionfacts.org, and it's about plant-based diets and their effect on your brain. Mm-hmm. Of course, you know, everything you put in your body affects your brain. Everything you put in your brain affects your body.
Yes,
think about that. So plant-based diets appear to be influential in mental health positively. Vegetarians in cross-sectional and interventional studies show fewer symptoms of depression, anxiety, stress, and mood disturbance than omnivores. Ooh. Higher levels of antioxidants in the blood from plant sources have been associated with a significantly lower risk of depression, and lower suicide rates have been tied to a higher consumption of fruits, vegetables, nuts, and soy, and a lower intake of dairy, meat, and fish. Tear. Chicken has been linked to a variety of neurological and psychiatric conditions. Arachidonic acid, I had to say that slow because it was a new word, is found in particularly high levels in chicken and eggs, and it produces inflammatory compounds that may affect our brains. Chicken has low levels of omega-3 fatty acid, which is a vital nutrient for your brain. Yeah. Brain parasites from meat have been linked to schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. Glycotoxins found primarily in chicken, pork, beef, and fish increase the risk of dementia and Alzheimer's. High consumption of fish has been associated with an increased risk of mental disorders, lower testosterone, which can lead to depression, and chronic fatigue syndrome and depression. and here's my weakness, frequent ingestion of the artificial sweetener aspartame, which is usually in Splenda, may increase risk of depression and other mental disorders. Artificial coloring in foods may increase impulsivity, inattentiveness, and hyperactivity in children. Children whose mothers ate more licorice during pregnancy were more prone to attention, speech, and visual spatial ability problems, which is most of your kids that have ADHD and SLD, which is a specific learning disability. It makes your brain impaired to SLD. Okay. So what it does is it impairs the parts of your brain that make it harder for you to learn reading and math. What's it stand for? Specific learning disability. Okay. So it specifically targets a part of your brain that learns reading and math.
And they said licorice?
Yes, if you eat too much licorice.
Okay. These are good facts.
So people who adhere to a strict plant-based diet should eat foods fortified with vitamin B12 or take supplements to avoid a vitamin B12 deficiency, which has been linked to cases of psychosis, suicidal depression, and cognitive decline. Public awareness and education related to mental health issues are of the utmost importance. So it's basically telling us that we need to be mindful of what we put in our mouths, even down to the chemicals in certain foods. Yeah. For example, a lot of children that have ADHD should avoid red dye number 5, which is what you find
all those in Flaming Hots and hot Doritos now
and juice and
the
Kool-Aid, that red juice. There's some kids who are specifically allergic to red dye number 5 and number 6, which is found in most foods. But you won't know that your child is allergic to red dye 5 and 6 until you go and have them specifically tested for that.
So when is that, like school age they find out? How do they know if they don't just go find out? Do they find out the hard way when they go to test?
You end up finding out the hard way in most cases because it's not something that they test for. So you have to specifically ask your doctor, please test my child for a red dye number 5 and number 6 allergy. Wow. Because it's not something that you think about.
Parents, grandparents.
Right.
This is interesting.
And when your kids are in school and they can't sit down, they can't sit still, the first thing they want to do is slap them
with a pill. Well, we don't know what's in that either.
Or, say that they're ADHD, and then of course that means that they need an IEP, and then they're going to special ed, when really all they need is a different approach to how they're taught and more brain-rich foods.
Yeah, and even if we don't think about the mental and neurological part of it, even our overall well-being, because I remember when I was diagnosed with high blood pressure, and the first thing I did was change my diet and start exercising, and there it went. It went away. So these are things we can consider when we're considering eating to live. We're not talking about trying to lose some weight. We're not talking about the perfect body. We're not talking about doing what everybody else is doing. We're just talking about feeling good and feeling better, because that's what we do at Fly With Us. We want to help you enhance your quality of life and first love yourself as we do that as well. So I want you to go back and repeat what you said, though, really quick, when you said what we eat affects our brain and what we put in our brain affects our...
Absolutely. Your thoughts control your body. So if you're always thinking negative thoughts, if you're always angry, you're always mad, you always look for the bad in the situation, eventually your body will start to deteriorate and follow suit, because your brain is convincing your body to break down. Your body starts to break down, which of course makes your brain break down even more, because you're like, well, I don't feel like doing nothing, so why should I do something? And then so you got to feed yourself good food and feed yourself good thoughts and words and good thoughts, good deeds.
So be mindful of what you're allowing to come inside of here, and what you're inside your head, and what you're also putting in your mouth. I love it.
Absolutely. Because it's about being well-rounded. Nobody's saying you're not going to have a bad day or you're not going to have a negative thought, because that would be impossible. But
you can always be
mindful of what you put in your head and what you put in your mouth.
If you're having a bad day, get you an Impossible Burger.
Yes. Or some cookies.
Or a Pizookie. Okay, you can get that. Do what you need to do for you, but always first love yourself. We will be back next week. Tune in. We will have more interviews coming up. Lady Bounce will be doing some more interviews. If you haven't had a chance to check them out, go to our Fly With Us Facebook page and check out other episodes and also interviews and YouTube. You can find us on YouTube,
SoundCloud,
Facebook,
Instagram.
Wait a minute, you went too fast. YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud, Instagram, and you can email us on Twitter. And you can email us at flywithusla@gmail.com. I am A Slate.
I'm Lady Bounce.
We out of here.
Peace.